Very much. 8:06 right now, and you heard about it from here. Really a high-profile case that we covered. 4 men accused of raping and pretty much pimping out a 13-year-old Orthodox Jewish girl in Crown Heights for years, almost 10. Well, the men were thrown in jail where they sat for about a year, but yesterday, 2 of them walked free, and all of them were cleared of all the charges. Here's more from Deborah Alfarum.
The case crumbled. The accuser, now 22, with a history of mental illness, apparently had recanted her story. And in April, it came out that the DA's office sat on it. The head of the DA's sex trafficking unit resigned. The alleged victim's father issued a long statement, reading in part, "Our family has the misfortune of living under the jurisdiction of the Brooklyn District Attorney, who regards the psychological confusion and fear my daughter experienced during her enslavement as proof that she sought out, enjoyed, and deserved her victimization."
Look, I understand his frustration as a father, and if there was any way I could have continued this prosecution, it would have been done.
Deborah Alfarum, PIX 11 News.
Deborah, thank you. And joining us this morning is DAMIEN Crooks and his attorney, Elliot S. Thank you both for being with us this morning. And let's start with you, DAMIEN. We're talking about 2 months into your freedom after being in jail for over a year. Has it really sunken in yet that you're a free man?
I thank God that I'm free right now, and it ain't all sunk in yet, but it's coming in slowly.
Each day, I'm sure,
Yes.
It gives you that rally. Let's talk about this, because we are talking about 30 charges overall, including sex trafficking, rape, prostitution. Each one of those 30 charges completely dropped. Elliot?
That's correct. Every single charge that was levied against Damien was completely dropped yesterday. Damien had faced over 100 years in state prison for crimes he absolutely did not commit. So we are grateful and relieved that every single charge was in fact dismissed.
And let's talk about that, what brought you to this point here. It essentially is, this evidence that was withheld from this case here, that the DA kept essentially saying that this woman recanted information that there was history of mental illness. Did they really think that they could get away with holding that information, that it wouldn't seep out in some way?
I'm not really privy to exactly what they thought or the conversations that went on in their office.
But in your opinion, when you found this information, I was like, how can something like this be kept from a case of this magnitude?
Right. I think they thought that the defendants, including Damien, would plead guilty, but Damien maintained his innocence from the start of the case and was never going to plea, and therefore the evidence came to light later in the case.
Well, we have to talk about this relationship, because at the time this girl was 13 years old, you were 23. She alleged that it happened over a course of nearly 10 years. And you said that there was some consensual relationship here. Was that relationship physical?
Physical? Nah. It wasn't physical.
The relationship that they had was one of friends, and later on when she was 19, 20, 21, it was more intimate, but all the allegations that occurred earlier were false.
And Damien, now that this is your reality and you go through that you're saying it becomes real every day, but what do you do with a story like that when you sit down and you reflect on where you've been and the path you've taken?
Well, it's real hard, because I did all that time and I was facing a lot of time, so it's just confusing.
And you knew all along. You said, okay. Any plans to sue quickly?
We haven't spoke about that issue yet.
Thank you both for joining us this morning. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
10 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. Sakanya?